was the metaphysics of fear and the coronavirus. And what we were speaking to directly is this aspect that the root chakra is being deeply affected at the same time as the corona, the collective crown chakra that we all share together, is being collectively activated by this volcano, by this eruption of fear, by the running of all the energies of fear. So we think about the Akashic memory, right? The Akashic plates, I call it, the Akashic records. And that this is a holding space for all of the memory of all of us, all beings who have ever lived on this planet through all time, space, and dimensions. So every being that we have been, if you believe in reincarnation, every version of you you've ever been through all time, space, and dimensions. So some folks feel that they've been here since this planet was simply, gas, rock, mineral. So if you go back that far, some believe they were a dinosaur. However far your memory scape takes you, or maybe since the 1800s, or maybe just this one life. All the memory that we've all contributed through our experiences multidimensionally, everything imagined, everything real, everything that is stored in our cellular memory, everything that we've given a name to, that we've defined, that we've had some experience with, is locked in the Akashic. And that Akashic is the mama. It is the space holder for all of our thoughts, for all of our feelings, for all of our memory collectively to be held, filed, and sort of libraried, if you will, right? And so everything is accessible in that Akashic memory. Like I say, that's all of the deleted pictures. That's everything that has been hidden, that has been pushed away, and that resides in the subconscious level of our collective being. And the grid matrix, as I teach it, is a subset of the Akashic. Now we know that there's this idea in the Akashic that speaks to, the many worlds theory, I like to say, where we have in that Akashic record, we have what has been in the past, but we also have this aspect of all the potentials, all the potential timelines for all potential future variables exist there. Why? Because the set points for every single potential is laden in the memory that we hold collectively. And this is what's happening, my friends, is that we have been relying on the Akashic memory to run our lives collectively, to run the collective of this planet for whatever time, right? We say that there's no time, but imagine that the Akashic began as soon as we began to mark time. As soon as one of us humans began to say, aha, time exists, things exist, separation exists, I'm a man, you're a woman, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, this is left, this is right, this is on, this is off, this is black, this is white. And so it houses the polarity, the consciousness that we all share, that is rooted in the binary system of love and fear. Now the grid matrix is the subset of the Akashic. This is the grid matrix of collective consciousness. All of these crisscross lines of energy all refer to and reflect the invisible network of consciousness that we each cast out from our energy beings out into the invisible realm that connect all people, places, and things through all time, space, and dimensions. Everything imagined, everything real, everything in every aspect of each of those aspects, right? It goes on and on and on. Fractal, fractal, fractal universe. But this is also the place that creates, the place through which we create our fractal universe, our holographic simulated universe. And what happens is that the grid matrix is a reflective of third dimensional reality, of the matrix reality that we are told is the truth. It reflects the matrix, this world. Everything that we're going through right now, everything that we're living through and experiencing right now is a part of the matrix, if you will, this third dimensional substrata realm of collective consciousness. Now, this is like this is a template, and this is an instruction manual, right? In a sense that this is how the records are for us to go by to learn how to be a man. This is how we learn how to be a woman. This is how we learn to make money in the world. This is how we learn to value what's valuable, what's not valuable, what's important, what's not important, etc. And whether it is race, culture, politics, love, health, infection, right? Whatever it is, all of this information is mind. The grid matrix is made of our collective minds together, creating this invisible network of information. Again, it is a substrata of the mama of the Akashik, right? And all this is metaphysics, and metaphysics is all about tapping into that invisible realm that is generally not viewable with the physical eyes. What is happening is that our collective fear with what's happening in the world with this coronavirus, our collective fear is that all the unhealed parts of ourselves in each individual and on a collective level is being disturbed. All those unhealed parts of selves that are looking for a way to heal, that are looking to be transmuted, they're waking up. Right? We can go for a long time. And if you're a sincere healer, you're sincerely on the path, you know there's stuff, right? We work with others, we work on our own stuff. Like there's layers. There's layers upon layers upon layers of stuff. There's stuff that we never talk about. There's stuff that is hidden. There's stuff that we don't even know until it comes into our awareness, that it's something that we get to start working on. This is the basement, the subconscious, the collective root chakra now is being activated through the value of fear that has been shifted in our collective tipping point of consciousness on the third dimensional level. Well, in juxtaposition, what's happening is the corona, the crown that we all share, the holy halo of ascension that we all share that is ready to activate, is being threatened by whatever forces. If you believe it's conspiracy theories, if you believe it's aliens, I don't know, whatever you think, right, is the story, because we all have a part of the puzzle of the story of what is really happening here in the world. So whatever part of the puzzle you're holding for that, you think it's the biblical apocalypse, you know, whatever it is, maybe it's all of it, and maybe it's none of it. But the story I'm here to share with you and the work that we're here to do today speaks to this aspect that the crown chakra, our collective crown chakra is activated, and for whatever reason, there is a story, there is a narrative that has affected the entire world in saying that the crown chakra, that our holy birthright, our crown, right, is violated, that it is vulnerable, and that it has been violated, that it is infected, and that each of us can get it at any moment, etc., etc. So there's this fear. People are really afraid. People are forgetting that they're not just a body. We're identifying with these bodies and with the ability to die, right? We're being feared. That's fear. The root chakra, afraid of death, right? Being a body. Root chakra system is all about specifically how cool are you with being a body on this planet. And right now, a lot of people are shitting their brains out, and they're like, I don't know how cool I am with being a body on this planet. That root chakra is having an activation, an eruption. And again, if any of this is speaking to you and you want to go back, YouTube, the metaphysics of fear and the coronavirus for my session yesterday, because we go in pretty deep. So the idea, collectively, the root chakra is being activated by this thrust fear that has been stimulated all over the planet, which is causing people to shit, right? Which is causing people to detox, if you will. And this detoxification is having this relationship with the crown chakra at the very top of our energy being. We must purge, we must detox, we must clear all of those hidden values in the root before we can fully be crowned, before we can be crowned by that crown chakra, before our halo can truly activate and beam us up, if you will. You know, the halo is a part of our crystalline tube. The crystalline tube, the sushumna houses the spine, houses the chakras. We are an energy body, and this crystalline tube runs through the center of our body. It connects beyond the grid, right? It connects us through the grids and through all this beautiful cosmic stuff. But ultimately, the job of this crystalline tube is to connect us beyond the matrix. And that is the tube that you receive your symbols in, right? When you get attuned with Reiki. What's happening is our tube is expanding The grids, the matrix, it doesn't enter the tube. The tube is chi, the tube is prana, the tube is our sacred connector to what is not of this world. On my weekly live stream, 4D Trinity, it's all about fourth dimensional consciousness rooted in the heart space. It's all about Christ consciousness awakening. Now, as this root is awakening, what's happening really through this fear and through this purge and through this release and this activation in the root chakra is that people are starting to wake up. And this energy down here in the root is being disturbed by this holding, and also just this feeling realization of panic and of fear. And so there's a great deal of people that are ready to heal. There's a great deal of people that are going to be healing no matter what, just through their simple purge and release through the bowels, right? There's this hoarding of toilet paper. It's not a reason, right? There's reasons why people need extra toilet paper, because, okay, there's going to be, there has been and there will continue to be great release happening. But this is a good thing, because there's been this locked up kundalini at the base of our collective chakra system, at the base of our collective energy body. And as people purge, our collective kundalini is activating across the world, and it's beginning to move up, it's beginning to awaken. And so, yes, it's going to affect everyone who's ready and willing to be affected, and other things can infect where those are willing to be infected. And what we're doing is we're coming into a point where we have a choice now. Okay, so the root chakra is awakening. The root chakra holds all of the stories. We think about it, it's the basement. It's the subconscious. So today the work that we're going to do is we're going to go into the basement, which is where the Akashic Records is. We're going to go into that sacred space. And we're going to work on clearing grievances. Because if you imagine, right, all we've been doing is rerunning the matrix. All we've been doing is what we've been told to do. And here we are again, third dimensional beings, which we are not only that, being told what we can do, and our liberties are being taken away. This is not freedom, what's happening to us, being shut into our homes. This is not freedom. We did not come here to do this. You know, maybe, did you? Is this all that you're going to do? We're at this really big, powerful point here now where we are recognizing that we have a choice. We have a choice for kindness. We have a choice for hate. We have a choice for fear. We have a choice for love. We're going down these rabbit holes. Now, we can either be going down the rabbit hole of fear and of hate and of shame and of blame, or we can go down the rabbit hole of love and of light and of trust and of grace. Both of those timelines are creating very different worlds, if you will. They're creating very different probable future outcomes. So I was speaking to a friend, and if you were here yesterday, you heard me talk about this a little bit. I was speaking to a friend in New York who was saying, like, what's going on, you know? And I was saying, man, I got nothing. I got nothing on this. But as soon as I said that I had nothing, I started to get something. Because there's been a few days where I've just been like blank. I don't have any downloads, and usually I've got the downloads. And all I saw was the inner shaman, the inner sorcerer, the inner, and I mean that from a clear magic way, right? No manipulation of energy on any level at all, in a clear magic way, working with the higher will and the higher good of all. But that part of you that knows that you're a shaman, that knows that you're a healer, that knows that you're a light worker, that knows that you are tapped in and tuned into a greater source beyond this world, we are being called. We are being called now to not know, and to be okay with not knowing, to set the example of holding space of the not knowing, and to show ourselves, to remember ourselves that it's okay. And as we hold space for that knowing, what is this? This is the zero. This is the 0 point. And the 0 point is that point we imagine is the tiny space in our hearts. And that tiny space in our hearts is the gateway, is the portal through which we will enter the promised land, if you will. There's a space that we are ready to be in frequency with, that we already know, that is bliss, that is grace, that is peace, that is heaven on earth, that is fourth dimensional frequencies. It is a real experience, and I know a lot of us have had that experience. We can speak from that truth. And now the thing is that we might have it here and there flickering in and out, but it's time now to call it in, to create the correct conditions within ourselves, to be able to have that light turned on as a constant, Not just flickering, and like, dimming and up and down, but to hold that light. Our cells are ready. Our DNA is ready. Because what's happening again is this purge. What I'm getting, and please let's talk about this if you get downloads too, but that Akashik has just been sleepy, it's just been taking notes, it's just been like whatever. But now up here on the subset system in the grid matrix, there's so much fear. The tipping point of fear is active. And it's more active for those who would have fear be the truth, who would have prejudice be the truth, who would have division and separation be the truth. Then it's really activated for them. And for the rest, who would choose love and light over fear, over duality, we're feeling a strengthening, right? Don't you feel kind of excited? Aren't you like, oh shit, I've been dress rehearsing for this and now it's time, right? I mean, I've been talking to some of us and it's like, yeah, we're kind of like, okay, we're on. Here we go. What do we do? And I can't tell you what you do. I'm grateful you're here today so we can do some collective work together. But I know when I was in that place like 3 or 4 days ago and I felt like, should I be doing like guided meditations every day on YouTube? Like, how can I help? And I remember meditating in the universe. My guides were just like, you do you first. You get good with you. You get into your center first, into your staff of power first, and then we will let you know on an as-to-need basis. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And so that's what's happened. And so now this is happening. So again, our collective fear, purging, what's in the basement, because that crown chakra wants to activate. It's ready to activate all the lies and all the stories that we're being told through the media right now. How many times a day are they running the grid? Coronavirus, crown virus. I mean, come on. Is that going to be your reality? It's not my reality. It's not my reality. And we can choose. Here we go. This is important. Remember, this is the time now that we are making choices. So last night I got these really powerful downloads. They told me that this is the split of timelines. My whole body went when I got that download last night. This is it. We've been talking about timeline splits for like years now, right? In the conversation, or maybe this is a new idea to you. But it's this idea where enough of our consciousness collectively braids together. And even despite the duality of the grid matrix, right? We all believe different things, yet somehow the world still works for the most part, right? And there's agreements. There's agreements that have been made over time and space that have roots in the old school agreements we've made that are held in the Akashic records and those plates and those memories. And what's happening is that now everything that was having enough, all of our thoughts and agreements and consciousness over all time, space, and dimensions that have been allowing themselves to have some kind of a dance to whatever level is now what's happening is there's enough of a tipping point where fear is pulling this way, love and light is pulling this way, and that timeline that was at once dancing with each other and 3D and 4D and love and fear and constantly moving back and forth in that 3D matrix of the binary polarized consciousness. What's happening is that now there's a shift and there's a timeline split happening. And so the choice is, what are you going to choose? What are you going to choose? And did you feel it last night? Did you feel it last night? I could feel it. That stillness and that we are getting it. We are understanding that this is way bigger. This is way bigger than having enough toilet paper. This is way bigger than whatever we're being told in the media and whatever we're being shown through the world. These are all stories. And with metaphysics, with our spiritual activation of the light body and the work that we're doing together, all we're doing is we're seeing through the veil. And that's all apocalypse means, is the lifting of the veil. And enough of us have been generating our heart center and our third eye to see with the Holy Cross. We see with the perspectual lenses of the physical eyes. We see on the horizon. We see what's happening. But we're also able to see through the veil. And maybe we don't know what we're seeing yet, but we know we can see love through the veil that we're being told. And only if you really, really identify with being a body and you forget that you are not just this body, then you'll be terrified. You'll be scared shitless, perhaps. But as you stay rooted in love, as you stay rooted in light and let love show you and hold space for nothing, dear shaman, dear sorcerer, dear light being, light worker, whatever name or non-name you may or may not gift yourself. This is about the not knowing, because the Akashic is coming unraveled. The grid matrix is coming unraveled. Splitting timelines is happening. It's upon us. And there is no future. This is what I was getting. There is no future, my friends. It's almost like, woohoo! You know why? Because enough of us are grounding our energy and ourselves in the now. We have learned, whether you're aware of it or not, we have learned how to ground our energy and our consciousness to a deep and rooted point in the now, to such a fierce level that there is no future, because we are making it up as we go, and we only have every moment. We're learning to appreciate the moment, and we're really getting that this life thing, that this experience of being in a body, in a third dimensional realm, we're remembering that we're fourth dimensional Christ beings as well, though. We're remembering that time doesn't exist and that we're making things up as we go. We're also recognizing the value and the potency of what we choose. Are we choosing dark? Are we choosing light? With every quest, with every thought, with every word, with every action, everything is amplified now. We are making this shit up as we go. So with the timeline split, are you going to be choosing love? Are you going to be choosing fear? And it's a moment by moment equation, because at any moment you can drop back into the fear zone. In any moment you can choose love again. And the value and with the work that we're going to do here today is the sustaining, is learning to sustain the value of love, so that love can rewrite itself in the Akashic, so that love can rewrite itself through the grid matrix, and that a new set point is created through which that value is placed there for those who would have it. You know, you can't make people go, whether you believe in 5D or 4D, right? I preach the 4D, the Christ, the heart center. There's no, what is 5D? If you haven't gone through the heart center, you've just hop, skip right into the third eye, honey. That is not vision. No, you need two eyes to see holy vision, okay? That's what I preach. So, we got to go through the heart center. We got to heal. Heal the stories that are in the Akashic. Heal the stories that are in the grid matrix. And as we heal those grievances, because all that's fear, it's all polarized stuff, and we have this option now to heal those parts of ourselves individually and collectively and rewrite the matrix. Rewrite ourselves, our synaptic, our cellular level and ability to charge and be charged and to activate in the way of love. And that is how we create the correct conditions to bridge heaven on earth, to bridge fourth dimensional frequencies and above, and live a new earth reality. So the tipping point has shifted. The veil is lifting, right? But it's lifting in the way of life. And isn't this interesting? All of this stuff with the respiratory, again, yesterday I talked about the Amazon, half of it's burned, Australia burning, and this thing that's going around. Not only are they calling it the coronavirus, right, crown chakra virus, but this is deeply affecting the lungs. And what is the lungs? That is our breath, and the breath is our life. So we get to take our life back. I'm going to be doing little things for breathing and pranayama. I'll be posting, so thank you for following and being here and sharing this experience. I did want to read, I think it's yesterday's, some of yesterday's lesson 78 from A Course in Miracles. Perhaps it is not yet quite clear to you that each decision that you make is one between a grievance and a miracle. Each grievance stands like a dark shield of hate before the miracle it would conceal. And as you raise it up before your eyes, you will not see the miracle beyond. Yet all the while it waits for you in light, but you behold your grievances instead. It's like the sun is always shining. The clouds might be there, but the sun is always shining. It's like love is always here. The matrix might be here, blinding us with fear or doing its best to try to trip us and blind us with the stories that the world would have us think is the truth. Yet our ability to see beyond the veil, to see beyond the matrix, to see the love is what metaphysically creates the correct conditions for love to be present then. We are all those magicians. We are all those maestros. We are all those metaphysicians and those alchemists. And it's time to get to work and use that love on purpose and with clear intention for the highest good of all, right? Not just so you have toilet paper, But so that we all have enough toilet paper, you know, for days and days and days. And again, is this really living? What we're being sequestered into this situation? And I know there's a very real third dimensional aspect to it, and I'm not making light of it. I think it's important to laugh at this whole thing, though, at the same time as cry if you need to cry. Yet, and I know there's people affected, and I mean no disrespect. Yet there is a metaphysical aspect, and that is what we are working with today. Okay, so today we go beyond the grievances to look upon the miracle instead. So are you ready for a miracle? And what is that? That speaks to our ability to allow love. And really, what is blocking the love is that first passage spoke to. Just our thoughts about things. Our unresolved, unhealed feelings. Memory. All the Akashic records is memory. All the grid matrices is memory. And it's the past. And the past is not real. Past is not real. It doesn't exist anymore. And we have no future. According to what I'm sharing with you today, there is no future. We're creating it right now. We're creating it right now. And so our ability to be steadfast in the now moment, to do this work, to create the correct conditions so that we can continue to choose love and awaken and allow what is ready to be purged and cleared from the root chakra so that divine collective kundalini can activate and rise up, pierce the veil through the heart and into the third eye, and light up the crown so the crown can be activated. So let me recognize, right, that miracles can replace all grievances. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. So that's all we're going to read from that today.